Welcome to ShellyBits. My name is Kenya, aka ShellyBits. This is Baggy, and I want to talk about an oopsie that I made going to college. Now, as far as what's going on in this current situation, you know what this is, you know what's happening. Let's not pretend to be clueless, okay? This is necessity. But this is not a hair video because I am incapable of that. This is about mistakes. Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful life mistakes. Yay. Why? Why did I go to college? Why? Oh, I've been ruined. First off, I went to Hollis Self-Price at the Lamont College in Memphis, Tennessee, and they gave me a full ride to the Lamont. Now, this part was cool, okay? The whole full ride, you know, of course, if you can get it for free, then go ahead. What happened was, you know, while everybody, like all my classmates and stuff, they were knowing where they wanted to apply to and what they wanted to do and had their plans for the future and stuff, I was just like, I don't know, we just gonna go with the flow. And that's what I did. Got into college, started taking classes that I just liked in general, like painting, piano, a couple of art classes, whatever. And so what happened was, by the time they asked me what it was I wanted to major in, I looked at the credits that I had and I was just like, you know what? I don't want to be any longer than I have to be, so let's just go with humanities. Now, there might be quite a few of you who can tell me what you can do with that. Exactly, my own advisor wasn't sure what to tell me, but I don't think my passions fit into that, and the things I enjoy doing, although some of them I'm not quite good at, include acting, drawing, painting, sometimes writing. My creativity has been absolutely effing ruined. Oh, college will do that to you, especially if you go to an art school or you're really heavy in the art classes, because they try and take your creativity and then they try to like force it into this little box, and if it doesn't fit into their box, then it's wrong. Funny fact though, the times that I really tried for my art projects, my professor loved. No, he hated. The ones that I really tried on, he hated. The ones that I just didn't give a flying flip about, he was just like, oh my God, you were just in your element. And I love my art professor, you know, until he started getting on my nerves and stuff. Went to the Lamont College for 4 years, got a Bachelor's of Arts degree in Humanities, which I'm currently doing nothing with, as of yet anyway. This was back in 2014. And then in 2016, somehow I got the funny idea, let me go back to school. This time, let me get into some debt. Why? Why, Kenya? Why? So I applied to the Memphis College of Art, and with the help of, you know, a little bit of financial aid, I got accepted. Yay. So I went there for animation. Mind you, I ended up going back to school to major in animation because I had a conversation with someone and I was asking them about a job, and they were like, oh, well, why don't you go to school and get your nursing, go get a degree in nursing or whatever. And I thought about that and I was like, wait. Now, I don't think I actually fact-checked this, but anytime I thought about like anything related to being a doctor or whatever, I thought about math classes, and I was like, I'm gonna have to take some math classes. I'm good, fam. I'm absolutely good. So I was like, no. And then I was like, bing. Oh, I'll go back for animation, since I wanted to do that when I was in middle school. Well, you know, since when I was a kid, I wanted to like do creative stuff and make comics and cartoons and video games and whatever. But just as I grew older and then got into art school, and creativity was slowly destroyed, and you know, those things changed. Look at me sounding like I'm blaming the world for my problems. I'm not. I'm a victim of circumstance, okay? I'm not saying that college is a bad thing. I'm not saying that at all. For some people, it's the right thing. But it's just I was not self-aware at, you know, 16, 17 years old, 18 to know that, So college is for some people, and it just wasn't for me because I have to learn at my own pace, and just I learn by doing, and I just should not have been there. Now, mind you, I'm not blaming my parents. They could only teach me what they knew. And, the whole thing when they were growing up is if you wanted to make something out of yourself, then you needed a college education. So that's what they taught me. But here we are in 2019, and that's not so much true anymore. Like, I really, literally could have taught myself animation at home. And I didn't think of that at the time. Now, I also currently now do have like this little note to self where I am not supposed to make decisions when I am going through like just heavy, stressful types of situations. And during the time that I made the decision to go back to school, I was planning a wedding. My father had a stroke and had been in hospice since April of 2015. So I was going through some things, and I was just like, oh, let me add to it. Add to it, I did. I did add to it. I was the least proficient person in my class. I loved my professor. I did. He was like professor / therapist. Like, he was really cool dude. But compared to everybody else in my class, I was, they say you're only as strong as your weakest link. Ooh, boy, was I the weak link. So here I am in 2D animation class, not even able to just draw that well. I mean, and I guess I didn't really realize that until after the fact, because growing up, I draw these pictures and they just be bomb. They just be dope. But the thing was, they weren't my own original creations. They were me looking at pictures of Naruto or whoever, or whatever cartoon I was watching at the time, and then I would draw them. So I'd look at it, and then, I draw it, and they come out dope. The creation was already there, and I just basically had to copy it. But creating my own original thing was not a developed skill that I had. I'm just every day just stressing, taking color theory and all these other classes in 3D design, and I mean up to like 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, trying to finish these projects and stuff, and just having absolutely terrible time. And I needless to say, I never finished. Mainly because I ended up moving, and I was just up under too much stress to sort of even care anymore at that point. If I could go back, I would not have done that. I really wish I could go back in time with the mindset that I have now. Who doesn't wish that things would have turned out so much differently, or so much more different? Insert whichever one of those is correct. But it just would have been different, and I don't know where I'd be. I consider that a mistake as far as the financial part. Now, it did help me learn what not to do in stressful situations or crises. I learned things about myself, such as my body will always know when I'm stressed before my mind does. So I learned things. I just didn't necessarily learn, let's say, I learned life lessons going to school more so than the actual, content or whatever. And I'm not saying that they weren't teaching it, because my animation class was lit. It's just, I am a person, I learn by experience, I learn by doing, and it's just when I'm in class and like somebody's walking you through things, it's kind of hard for me to keep up with it, because I'm like, I just have to do my own little process. And so you end up behind, and I ended up a little bit behind, and it's not because there was just anything wrong with me. It's just, I just learn differently. Some people learn by seeing, others learn by hearing, and then there's people who learn by doing. So that's just all it is. So if you like me and you learn by doing stuff and you feel like your school is stupid, it's not you. Well, it is you. Like, you learn differently, but it doesn't mean you're stupid or anything like that. Like, you're not slow. You just learn different. That's all. That's why public school is kind of trash. But I digress. I really digress with this bag on top of my head. But yeah, that's one of my mistakes. Hopefully that's my first, and hopefully I will continue to talk about my mistakes because they need to be made known. Because we're all in this together, even though we pretend that we're not. We are, okay? We're all sort of don't have it all figured out, all right? And yeah, I think that's it. Bye. ShellyBits, 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 ShellyBits.